Okay, hey guys, so I decided to make a video and kinda show you around my world in Valheim. So this is the spawn area in the world. This is where you begin the game. It's usually right in the center. And a little about Valheim. What's the goal of the game? It's like any other survival game. You have this overarching goal, which you can chase at any time, but you don't really have any directions, so to say. Valheim is a bit more guided. It helps you to orient you in the world and where you have to be. The goal of the game is to hunt down bosses. You have these biomes in the map which progress in difficulty. You have your medals, which is the beginner area. Here you hunt down this guy, the Thunder Elk or whatever. Each boss drops like a special item and a power. There we go. And this allows us to progress through the area. So once you kill this guy, you can then progress to the next area, which is the Black Forest. We have a Black Forest here. And so on and so on. Each boss you kill, it gives you the necessary resources to progress further. You could technically go to the other areas, but it won't be very pleasant for you. So this is where I spawned. At this point I was kinda playing alone. This was my solo world. We had another separate world with my brothers. And from here I decided to make my first base, which is over here, Port Alizar. So let's go over there and I'll show you. It's a bit abandoned, but it's still functional. Also, just an example of what those powers do. The 8 tier power, once you activate it, it gives you like a stamina boost. It reduces stamina cost when you run, for example. And here we are. This is my first base. Now I wasn't too preoccupied with making it pretty. I was more with beginner bases. I usually do them more practical. I don't care that much about looks. This is a small farming area here. I actually used this base for a long time as a farm, just because it had a convenient plot of land. I was somewhat inspired by monasteries in my country, Bulgaria. They usually have like a defensive outer wall, like this, and inside you have the living quarters. I specifically this little area here, I made it so I can look out into the sea if I wanted to. It's just for immersion reasons, not really practical. This over here used to be my old crafting area. But once I moved bases, I pretty much disassembled everything, loaded up on my boat and moved it to the big base, which I'll show you later. This was my old room. You can kinda see that this base was meant for a single player. At this time I was still playing alone. And I actually played alone for a long time on this world. All the way to the plains, which is a bit endgame. Later on, one of my brothers joined this world. So what happened? I stuck around this area for a long time. Basically, I got lucky with the Black Forest being very near. So I managed to progress through the meadows, the Black Forest. But I didn't get lucky with the mountain, because the mountain I got in my area was very small and it didn't spawn almost anything. So I got on my boat and I started searching for a bigger mountain, and that's when I found this. Like, I remember I was sailing through here and I saw this big thing kinda sticking out, and this was my landing area, the Mountain A. Kinda lame name, but I didn't change it. And this is where I decided to make my permanent base, and the one I would put most effort into. So let's move over there and I'll kinda walk you through what my thought process was. Just to mention the quick travel system, at a certain point when you progress through the game you can build these portals and you can link them up to save time. Okay, we're in the courtyard of the main base. You can already tell that it's a lot more detailed and thought out. But let's start from the outside and we'll kind of progress inward so we can go building by building and you can see it better. Look at how foggy it is. So, where did my journey begin? This was my first temporary work camp, which I built for the sole purpose of resting while I built the main base, which took me a long time because I was farming all the materials on my own. This I used to breed boars, later wolves. It's like a holding pen. Anyway, let's move to the actual base. As we break through the fog, you can start seeing it shape up. It's very well defended, like it has everything, automatic ballistas, towers, walls. You can't really go through it, but it's a bit too foggy to see it well. I'll include like a nice picture later. It has two entrances. This is the one to the east and it has another one to the west. You have your typical gatehouse. Let's close it. Okay, so this is the outer courtyard and there are a few things here. Let's first see the full defenses. This is the western entrance. And there you go. Now we are in the courtyard. Here we have a few interesting things. Now I did make a pen inside the walls because some enemies that spawn with ranged attacks, like they could kill my boars inside those pens, so I moved them here. The wolves are strictly for protection. We don't really need them that much. Here we have how do you say it in English? Like for grapes. They can climb up and we collect the grapes for food. Eventually, when my brother joined the game, we did increase the resource yield, simply because it was a bit annoying to farm everything over and over again. Here is the chicken pen. This is a work in progress. It's not finished, and I'll explain why. So, the chicken pen is supposed to double up as both a defensive tower and also an additional home for another player, which was supposed to be my big brother. But we never got to finishing it. Actually, there are a few projects within the base that are not finished. So over here, there is supposed to be like a living area on top of this tower. This I'm really proud of. This is our breeding pen for the late game creature. I will show it to you. The Asquin. You can use them for riding, you can kill them for like meat for endgame food and such. But they're fairly dangerous, they break through fences easily, so this is where we breed them. We also intended to use it as an arena of sorts. The only unfinished part here, this area where I'm right now, is supposed to be like outside gathering spot we intended it to have like a fire, some benches, some decorations, a good spot to hang out, basically. Here is the gatehouse and another ballista. This one goes through all its arrows quite often. Yeah, I'll have to like take a couple pictures when it's not this foggy. You can't control the weather. And this is pretty much the outside area. Here we do a lot of the resource gathering, like we have our honey here. We have areas for farming, even though right now we are not farming, we just don't need it. And we get to the original base, which I actually, the very core of the base I built on my own. This outer area, the whole courtyard, my brother had already joined and he started helping with the resources and such. But this inside area, like most of it I built on my own. And you can see that it's fairly compact. Like it's not like a lot of other Valheim bases that are very huge. Simply because I was playing alone at the time. So this is the courtyard where we have all our portals. I basically use a naming system. Everywhere important where I want to have a portal, I just give it a nice name, like Bone Mass, for example. Here is a portal. And if I want to go there, I just change the name. And the portal is connected. Like, I did not want to clutter my base with endless portals. That's the whole idea. So let's start with this tower. I had very little hand in building this. I was mostly doing the Bulgarian thing, which is sit on the side and kinda give advice on what to do. At the time I was working on something else. But this is supposed to be like our watchtower slash light tower, like for ships. If you actually come with the ship from far away, you will see the flame on top. And we also use it for crafting like magic items and such, like this cape I'm wearing, for example, which allows you to glide. But this is a crafting area. We also kinda use it for defense, or used to, but we decided it would be more of a practical slash decorative area. It won't be like a defensive tower. It's not fully finished, by the way. There are still things to be done. Now, over here we have another gatehouse. I always employ the method of double gates. Like, double gates are just safe. You don't have to spend a lot of resources too. This is our storage area. This is where we keep all our basic materials for crafting. Not all of them, but most of them. There is nothing too special about it. I'm thinking I will leave the house for last, because it's my favorite part. Not my favorite area though. Over here, now I actually used my ship to build all of this. I had to extend I had to make a fake island, basically. You have like a terraforming tool. It was really annoying, let me tell you. Like, it took me so long. But I always liked very compact bases. Very compact and not symmetrical. I think when you build things to be a bit too symmetrical, it starts to look fake. Like, that's one of the things I never liked about Western cities. They look a little too perfect, if you know what I mean. So this is Saint Benedict's Church, which was actually the second or third building I finished here. Here we have a little hangout spot. Let's slide out, you can sit on the bench. And there you go. I couldn't clutter it with a lot of stuff, and actually I think some of them have disappeared. Yes, they have. That's a shame. The new update kinda messed up my base a little bit, but it's okay. I had like the 10 commandments put on here, and here are my two favorite, like, I would say, passages or verses. I think verses would be more appropriate. You are the salt of the earth, you are the light of this world, of the world. But yeah. I was planning to build like a very grand cathedral of sorts, but it's for a later date. I kinda ran out of patience. Sometimes when I play these games, I get a bit exhausted from them because they do take a lot of effort. Like if you want to build this legitimately, it does take a lot of effort. Now, this over here is like a small guest room, nothing too special. Yes. Let's say someone wants to join in, he can take this room to sleep in. Now this area I really like. Actually, it's a hanging smithy. It's very cool to work here, especially when there's a storm at sea. You can come here to like repair your gear, craft stuff. But I really like this open design for it. Here we have the advanced smithies, a dragon egg. Yes, we did add a mod that allows us to hatch dragons. We do have dragons. We just had to move them to the Dragon Isle because they're like very powerful, hard to get, but once if an enemy triggers them, they start destroying everything pretty much. So we had to move them to another place just to be safe. Now let's move to the living areas. We'll start by my brother's room. This is where we bake bread, the ovens. We haven't been here in a long time, everything is extinguished, but it's fine. Okay, so this is my brother's room. It's very small and cozy. I built this as a guest house way before he joined, and I kinda told him like decorate it as you like. I didn't care much. Here he keeps his stuff. It's very small but kinda cozy. I really like this vibe. Here he can go straight down if he wants, like he will come out here. Now let's take a good view from above. There it is. It's fairly large actually. It did take us a lot of time to make. I am a big fan of games like this, don't get me wrong. It's just that a certain point in life I reached like a tolerance threshold. These games tend to be very grindy. That's my main issue with them. They do take a long time. So if you just like building stuff, I would recommend turning on creative mode and just building. There's no need to grind like a moron, like we did. So let's move to the final place, which is my favorite one. This is actually my personal home, the first one I built. And I have been kind of upgrading it over the playthrough. Now this is our dining hall. Here we can come to buff ourselves. We have like all the feasts. If your character is tired, he can sit down and get the resting buff, which is not nearly the maximum. I think 18 is the maximum, but we are missing one item which we can't find. Also, we didn't build an armory, but for now I kinda keep my weapons here. So if I want to switch something, I just come and get it. Here I kinda got one of the bosses. I just like his trophy, so I put him here. Now this is the storage area for the kitchen. Here we keep all our basic supplies and ingredients we need. This is the kitchen. Here we can cook food, brew some meat and stuff like that. Here we have our potions, like all the potions. We are always overly prepared. All our endgame food. Here we were lazy, so we just stacked a bunch of ingredients there. here to butcher like meat and such, make feasts. I really like how it turned out, I really do. Like most of the time, let's say when we are like just chatting and being lazy, we would hang out here. And upstairs is my personal room. This is where I keep all my gear, like armor, weapons. This was my favorite sword in the game, Chrome. But I got a better one. I really don't like the endgame weapons, but I kinda am forced to use them. So, right to the left, like over there is my room, but right to the left you have like your barber station. You can come here to change your hair and customize your character. Here I have a couple sets, my weapons. Oh, this one was also one of my favorite ones, like an electric spear. And we move on to the sleeping area. Here I also keep a lot of items like trinkets, weapons, all my armor sets, like this is the swamp set. I come and wear it when I want to go to the swamp. This is my endgame set, like the armor I'm actually using right now. This is just a regular iron one. This is the mountain set. Here we can share what we find on the map. Like every time someone explores, he can make little markers like I have here, like rest, dungeon, dungeon. And once you press E over here, you can share them with your friends. This is my throne for resting and my bed. Okay, I was not sure where to put the jacuzzi. I just put it here because there was no other way to fit it in. I wanted to have it for the resting bonus, but yeah, we have like a jacuzzi also. And this is it. This is pretty much our main base. It took a long time to make. And it progressed through stages. Oh, now the weather is a bit better. Let's go and see how the base looks when it's clear. We'll start from the, what is it, west, and we'll move to the east. Let's zoom out. There you have it. I will show you the dragon, okay, just as a last thing to see. But the dragons were a big problem. We used to keep them like over there, inside the Askvin pit. There, I would say this is my favorite spot to kinda look at the base. It just gives a nice view to it. So, as promised, here are the dragons. Now there are two of them. One went somewhere. Where is he? Where did he go? I think he got distracted by enemies and such. Oh, yep, he's way over there. Okay, Flameneer is gone. We are gonna go and get him anyway. So how dragons work is that once you kill the dragon boss, which is in the mountains, you can start crafting different decks for different dragons. They're very grindy to get. And it is a bit of a hassle. Let's say you kinda need materials from all sorts of places. This guy is being annoying, but we'll try to get him. See what I mean? Like dragons get spooked very easily. Let's get rid of this guy. And these guys. It's not a good idea to do this without armor. Yep. Let's go and get him. Follow. I'm going to return them. But this was the problem, like when we had them at the main base, these two guys would constantly cause trouble. Oh, not good. See what I mean? Very destructive. Very hard to get and very hard to keep alive while they're growing. You also have to feed them like a special food. But anyway, That's them. A bit of a chaotic end. This is why we wanted to build like a big dragon pit there. It's a massive project. It's not something we can easily do. Okay, that was quite a bit of chaos, but I finally managed to get them at least back in this pen here. So these are the dragons. Are they worth having? They're kinda cool, but I don't know. I'm gonna get them back in their place one by one. It's not very wise to get them out at night. But they're very strong. So one is Flamnir, the other is Frostner. These are the dragons. And there you have it. I think I'm gonna end it here.